Star Wars Holiday Special.
The Star Wars Holiday Special. It is the worst Star Wars content ever made. Say what you will about The Last Jedi, the prequels, and even Star Wars Resistance, but the Holiday Special makes those shows and movies look like Citizen Kane. The special was made in 1978, so the only Star Wars content out at the time was the original Star Wars movie, which came out in 1977. The film had been a huge success, so fans were excited by the idea of this holiday special, and I cannot even imagine their disappointment. I at least knew what I was getting myself into. Audiences in 1978 did not know that they were about to watch this atrocious dumpster fire. Critics at the time had some harsh words for it, one even saying, "I'm not convinced the special wasn't ultimately written by a sentient bag of cocaine." And this special even made the #1 spot on the 100 dumbest events in television history, the makers of the list saying it was the worst 2 hours of television ever. George Lucas didn't have much involvement in the making of it, as he was busy promoting the original Star Wars movie and making plans for The Empire Strikes Back, but he tried his hardest to destroy every copy known to man. Unfortunately for him, that did not work because there are bootleg copies everywhere. I even have it on DVD. I have no idea where I got this. I think my dad gave it to me. I think it was originally his, but he gave it to me when I fell in love with Star Wars. But I had only watched it once before my viewing for the making of this video, and boy oh boy did I forget how bad it really was. In this video, I'm going to try to explain why this was such a disaster. There are truly hilarious parts, truly confusing parts, and truly awful parts. And I'll put them all together as I review the god-awful Star Wars Holiday Special. Before we start, make sure you hit that like button. It will greatly help the channel with the algorithm, meaning more people will see my content. So if you have a second, I would really appreciate it. And if you enjoy what you see, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to get notified about new uploads. My reach also stretches well beyond just this channel. I'm on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram where I do similar things that I do here on this channel. The links for all of my social media as well as my Patreon are in the description. If you want, give me a follow. If not, that's totally fine. Now, let's get the video started.
The Star Wars Holiday Special, sponsored by General Motors.
First of all, I think a general rule of thumb is if what you're making is sponsored by General Motors, there's a good chance that your final product is going to be pretty bad. The basic premise of the special is that Chewbacca has to get home to his family for a Wookiee holiday called Life Day. However, on his way, Chewbacca and Han run into some Imperial Star Destroyers who are after them, and Han has the bright idea to turn back instead of going into light speed.
That's it, I'm turning back.
But turning back would only get you caught, especially if you turned back and landed. They would just follow you and capture you. The whole point of the special is that the Empire is after them because they're rebels, so why would you turn around, land, and get caught? Luckily, he realizes this 2 seconds later.
I'm going to light speed.
But why wouldn't that be his first instinct? We then cut to Chewbacca's family at their home. His wife Mala, his father Itchy, and his son Lumpy. You can't make this stuff up. We then get no human dialogue for almost 10 minutes. All we see are the Wookiees talking. And we get no subtitles, so we have no idea what they're saying. Oh, and we get this weird holographic performance thing that has nothing to do with anything. That's actually a common theme in this special. They have these cutaway things that have nothing to do with the story whatsoever. But the 10 minutes of no human dialogue finally ends when we see Chewbacca's family talk with Luke over a video call, and he looks so different. I guess it's the haircut, or no wait, do you know what I think it is? I think it's the huge amounts of eyeliner. Why did they do that? If you're gonna do that, at least make it subtle. Also, for some reason, Luke can understand both Wookiees and R2-D2.
You don't know where he is?
But Luke could not understand either in the movies. He had to use a computer to understand R2, and he never understood Chewbacca. We do get a Darth Vader appearance in this special for one tiny second, and it's always a treat to hear him be voiced by James Earl Jones.
I want the rebels located and identified, if it means searching every household in the system.
This scene lasts all of 16 seconds though, so the one good part ends in a hurry. And as long as we're talking about good moments, I have to mention one exchange of dialogue where Han and Chewbacca say they love each other, which was really sweet.
I feel the same way about you too, pal, and your family.
Now remember how I said they have these weird cutaway moments that have nothing to do with the story? Well, this might be one of the strangest ones as we watch a cooking show. And when I say it gets ridiculous, I mean it gets ridiculous.
Stir, whip, 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 stir. Stir, whip, stir, whip, 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 stir. Come on, faster all together now, cooking can be fun. Stir, whip, 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 stir. Stir, whip, 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 stir. Wow! Having fun, all right?
What the hell are we watching? Wait, what the f***? She has another arm. That definitely was not there before. No, it was not. Look. Oh my god, she has a fourth arm. Where are these arms coming from? Why weren't they there when they started?
Oh, wonderful! Coming along nicely.
The movie then cuts to Han and Chewbacca, and they somehow put the coordinates in wrong, so they ended up right where the Empire is and nowhere near Chewbacca's home planet.
All right, the coordinates weren't the best.
How do you let that happen? So things then get pretty funny because they reuse footage from the original Star Wars film, but there's no one manning these guns like there was in the original movie. So how do they explain this? They say that they're remote cannons. What lazy writing. That sure would have come in handy when they escaped the Death Star.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky!
When we're back with Chewbacca's family, a live transmission comes in saying that no ships can land or take off from the planet.
A blockade has been set up around the planet. No ships will be permitted to land or take off.
So now we're like, oh, now Han and Chewie can't land. But when we get to them landing, they literally just fly right down without a single person trying to interfere. Where was the fleet that was supposed to stop them? You had one job. We're then introduced to a new character named Sondin, who might be the most annoying person in this special, and that's saying something.
You know, for the whatchamacallit, the thingamabob. The mind evaporator, that's it, the mind evaporator.
Was that scripted, or did he just completely forget his line and improvise and they just decided to leave it in? He's also a freak, demanding that Chewbacca's wife give him a kiss before he gives her the present he got her. But even worse, the present he got Chewbacca's dad is this machine that hooks up to his brain, and it's basically phone sex put right into his head.
Oh, yes. Oh, we are excited, aren't we? Now, we can have a good time. I'll tell you a secret. I find you adorable.
And when she says that last line, my man Itchy rewinds it 3 times.
I'll tell you a secret. I find you adorable. I find you adorable. I find you adorable.
Then the phone sex lady starts singing, and we get yet another cutaway performance that has nothing to do with the story.
If we could only bend this minute.
The holiday special then cuts to a scene with Leia and C-3PO talking to Chewbacca's family, and when Mala says that she's not having a good life day, Leia does not give a shit.
She says it may be a happy life day for you, but personally, she's seen happier ones.
I don't want to type the channels.
Some Imperials and Stormtroopers eventually show up at Chewbacca's house, and they walk in and just stand there. They literally don't say a word for an entire minute. We then get the most repetitive dialogue exchange where they can't stop saying the word identification.
Your identification?
Your identification?
Oh, identification, yes. Identification, Eddie. Without my identification card and the identification card.
Your identification is in order.
Sondin then starts rambling, and you're almost hoping that the Imperials shut him up.
Oh, I almost forgot. I want to leave you my card in case you need any, okay, I'll leave it.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Also, what the hell did he say here?
You're coming to catch you now, man.
I have no idea. Sondin then somehow convinces the Imperial officer to sit down and watch a show on one of the products he was selling, and the Imperial officer just abandons his job to watch yet another weird performance that has nothing to do with the story. And this might be the worst song. This song is truly awful to me, and oh, apparently I'm the only one because it looks like they're enjoying the shit out of it. So this now brings me to the best part of the holiday special, and perhaps the only good part. We see an animation that is still pretty well regarded to this day. It's the very first Star Wars cartoon ever made, paving the way for many more animated movies and series, especially the show Droids that came out in the 80s, which has the same animation style. I actually have this series on DVD as well, and again, I have no idea where I got it, but if you haven't seen it, it's a great watch. But going back to the holiday special animation, it's actually currently on Disney Plus, separate from the holiday special of course, being its own medium. This animation was actually the first time we were ever introduced to the character Boba Fett, who's now a fan favorite. And you know how his armor is scuffed up in the movies? Well, they actually got that idea from this animation. That was not the original plan for his appearance in the film. So I guess a few good things did come out of this dumpster fire. One thing that's weird about this though is Lumpy is watching this cartoon, but for some reason the characters in the show he's watching are people in real life that he literally just talked to moments before watching this. So I'm not entirely sure how that works. The animation looks pretty good though. They got most of the characters pretty spot on, and oh my god, what did they do to Han?
What happened?
Han, I'm asking myself the same question. What happened? So remember how Luke could talk to R2 and could understand Wookiees earlier in the holiday special? Yeah, well, now he can't. He needs 3PO to translate for him when talking to both R2 and Chewie.
What's the matter with R2? How did you know, Chewie?
May I quote directly, sir?
We also see stormtroopers being stormtroopers in this animation, as they miss a ton of shots when trying to hit Chewbacca and Boba, both of whom were right out in the open with no protection. And then with one shot, Chewbacca blows up their pretty well fortified ship. After the animation is over, the Imperials destroy Lumpy's room, and one even decapitates his favorite stuffed animal. Then these savages tell Lumpy to go clean his room after.
Go clean up your room.
Like, come on bro, you didn't have to do all that.
That will keep him busy for a while.
And just when I'm starting to feel something as Lumpy looks around his room and starts to cry, they ruin it as they cut to one of the weirdest moments of the special. Lumpy starts watching a tutorial on how to put something together, and this dude instructing is a robot that's like malfunctioning. And for some reason, malfunctioning robots grab their ass and start humping the air. Then this robot puts a tool to his throat, acting like he put it in a maintenance hole or something, and as he pulls it out, he makes the sound effect with his own mouth. You couldn't have added that in post while editing? Then this weird scene ends as he picks his nose so hard he knocks himself off the table. I have no words. Then one of the most bizarre and weird parts of the holiday special takes place. So the TV says that everyone has to watch this mandatory program, and it's called Life on Tatooine.
Time now for Life on Tatooine.
Why they want them to watch this, I have no idea. They hilariously use footage from the original movie again, and we're then introduced to this bartender that's awful at her job.
Well, I am certainly not going to get rich with customers like you. I thought I taught you to drink faster than that.
Wow, that's a good way to lose customers. So we see this scene that takes place in the Cantina bar, and I'm like, oh, this isn't Life on Tatooine anymore. There's no way the Imperials at Chewbacca's house are still watching this. This has to be its own scene. So we proceed to watch as the dude sexually harasses the bartender, and then I get really confused as I realize the Imperials at Chewbacca's house really were watching this the whole time. Like, what? But then it gets even weirder as the Life on Tatooine broadcast gets interrupted, and then we see the people that they had been watching in the Cantina bar get the same message on their TV. So was this a broadcast or a separate scene? I'm so confused. This was so badly done. So we then stay at the Cantina bar, and the bartender kicks everyone out, which was the Empire's orders, but they all ignore her and start demanding more drinks.
All right.
So the only way she can make them leave is to sing to them.
Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend.
And I'll admit, at least this performance actually has something to do with the story. Not the main story, it's pointless to the main story, but it matches up with the Cantina bar scene at least.
Just one more chance, friend.
God, This is worse than the special edition Return of the Jedi scene. Okay, never mind. No, it's not. So after she gets everyone out of the bar, I get even more confused as it cuts back to the Imperials at Chewbacca's house, and it turns out they were watching this the whole time. So it wasn't its own scene. I don't know what's going on. This was so horribly constructed. So the Imperials leave Chewbacca's house, but they left one stormtrooper there, and he eventually chases Lumpy outside. Then Han and Chewbacca come to the rescue, and Han knocks the stormtrooper over the edge and off the railing. And I'm assuming that he falls to his death, because earlier they showed how high up this was, and that fall would definitely kill him. Then later, we see the Empire go on the TV telling the stormtrooper that just died to make contact with them, and Sondin's dumbass says that he deserted.
He packed a lot of food from this house and he robbed me blind. Then he took off for the hills.
So the Imperial officer says he'll send a search party.
Very well, we'll send out a search party.
And Sondin is like, okay, cool, as if the search party isn't going to find the dead stormtrooper right underneath Chewbacca's house and go after his family for it. But the writers overlooked this, and just about everything else, so I don't know what I expected. I guess everything turned out okay. Chewbacca and his family then celebrate Life Day, and we get this weird transition that put the family in the middle of space holding snow globes and wearing red robes that came out of nowhere. Then it cuts to all of these people walking in the middle of space that shouldn't be physically possible, and they go into this huge glowing ball. So, is this what Life Day is? Is this how they celebrate? What a weird holiday. So walking through the huge ball leads everyone to a room where Han, Luke, Leia, 3PO, R2, and a bunch of others are. But Han just left Chewie's house a few minutes ago. How did he get there? How did any of them get there? What is this place? Leia then starts singing for some reason.
A day of harmony.
And I've got to admit, I did not know Carrie Fisher had such a beautiful voice. But like, who asked for this? We then see a montage of clips from the original Star Wars movie, and all of a sudden, Chewbacca and his family are back in their home. How did they get back? Where did their robes go? Where did everybody else go? Oh my goodness, this is just so confusing and so poorly done. As it pans out from Chewbacca's house, that's how this terrible TV special ends. This truly is one of the worst things I've ever watched in my life. I knew that it would make a great video, so I trucked on through. But my god, this video was not easy to make. I'm gonna go take a nap. I need it after this one. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on Instagram to see more of my personal life, like my cute dog Loki, and some behind the scenes movie flame stuff. I also do similar content on TikTok and Twitter that I do here on this channel. So if you like what I do here, check them out. All the handles are right below me, and links are in the description. Over here are my wonderful patrons. If you want to be featured on the next video, plus get a few other perks, become a patron today. As always, if you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe, and look out for more great Movie Flame videos on the way.